Have you ever noticed how so many older adults, perhaps even you, find themselves wide awake around 3 o'clock in the morning? Before we dive in, let me gently remind you, if you enjoy videos like this, please like this video, subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. Your support truly helps us create more content that can inform, guide, and inspire you on your journey through life. Now let's step into today's topic. Waking up at 3 a.m. can feel unsettling. The house is quiet, the world is still, and yet your eyes are open, staring into the darkness. You may wonder, is something wrong with me? Why does this keep happening? The truth is, this experience is surprisingly common. Many older adults report waking up at the exact same early morning hour, night after night. And while it might feel frustrating, it's not random, nor is it always a sign of a serious problem. In fact, it often reflects deeper changes happening in the body, the mind, and even in the rhythms of life itself. In this series, we're going to explore 4 powerful reasons why people tend to wake up around 3 a.m. as they age. Each reason carries hidden messages about your health, your habits, and even your inner world. By understanding these reasons, you'll not only see your sleep in a new light, but you may also find ways to turn these early morning wake-ups into opportunities for self-care and awareness. So let's begin with the first reason, one that is directly connected to the chemistry of aging: the decline of melatonin production. Reason 1. Decline in melatonin levels, the body's dimming nightlight. Think back to your younger years when you could fall asleep at midnight and stay deeply asleep until morning, barely stirring at all. One of the silent heroes that made that possible was melatonin, a hormone your body naturally produces to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin is often described as the body's internal nightlight, guiding your brain gently from wakefulness into the soothing waves of sleep, and helping you stay there. But as the years pass, something subtle yet important begins to shift. The pineal gland, which produces melatonin, simply doesn't release as much of it as it used to. This is not your fault, and it's not something you can completely prevent. It's simply part of the natural process of aging. The result? Sleep becomes lighter, more fragile, and more easily interrupted. By 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, melatonin levels in older adults may dip so low that the brain no longer has the strong chemical signal to stay asleep. It's almost as if the night light has begun to flicker, leaving the brain in a state of half-rest, half-alertness. This is why so many older adults wake up at that exact hour. A story to illustrate. Take the example of Margaret, a 70-year-old grandmother. For most of her life, she never had trouble sleeping. But recently she's found herself waking up at 3:05 a.m. several times a week. At first, she thought it was stress or maybe even a hidden health condition. But after talking to her doctor, she learned that her body was simply producing less melatonin than before. Armed with this knowledge, Margaret stopped blaming herself and started making small changes. She began dimming the lights in her home an hour before bed, signaling to her brain that nighttime was approaching. She also avoided late-night screen time, since the blue light from phones and televisions can suppress melatonin even further. Within weeks, she noticed a difference. Not that she never woke up at 3 a.m., but that when she did, it felt less jarring and she was able to drift back to sleep more easily. Her story shows us that understanding the why behind these wake-ups can shift the experience from frustration to empowerment. The role of environment. Another layer to this is sensitivity. As melatonin levels decline, the body becomes more easily disrupted by environmental triggers. A streetlight outside the window, a glowing alarm clock, or even a hallway light under the door can be enough to wake you when your melatonin is already running low. Think of it like this. When you were younger, your sleep was a fortress with thick walls that kept disturbances out. Now the walls are thinner and even the smallest nudge can rattle you awake. The good news? You can reinforce those walls by being intentional with your environment, keeping your room as dark as possible, using blackout curtains, or even wearing a comfortable sleep mask. Reframing the experience. Here's something important to remember. Waking up at 3 a.m. doesn't mean your body is failing. It means your body is adapting. It's responding to changes that are a normal part of the aging process. Instead of fighting against it with frustration, you can learn to work with it. For instance, if you wake up and don't immediately fall back asleep, try not to panic. Anxiety about not sleeping often makes things worse. Instead, take a few slow breaths, remind yourself that this is normal, and perhaps keep a calming activity nearby. A book with soft lighting, gentle music, or even a short meditation practice. By softening your response, you help your body relax and increase the chances of drifting back into sleep. The deeper message. At its core, the decline in melatonin is a reminder that our bodies are always changing. Aging is not about losing control, it's about entering a new rhythm of life. When you understand that waking up at 3 a.m. is often about hormones, not hidden dangers, you free yourself from unnecessary worry. And that peace of mind alone can improve your relationship with sleep. So the next time you find yourself awake in the still darkness, remember this: your body isn't broken. It's simply adjusting, and with small changes in environment, routine, and mindset, you can meet your body where it is and gently guide it toward rest again. Welcome back. If you're still here, it means this topic resonates with you, and I truly appreciate your time and attention. Before we continue, let me kindly remind you, if you haven't done so already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone you care about. Your support helps us keep creating thoughtful content for people just like you. Now, let's talk about another powerful reason why so many older adults find themselves wide awake at 3 a.m. This reason isn't about hormones or health conditions. It's about time itself, specifically the way your body's internal clock changes with age. This phenomenon is often referred to as advanced sleep phase syndrome. Reason 2, the shift in the body's internal clock. Every living being operates according to an inner rhythm, known as the circadian rhythm. This rhythm regulates when you feel awake, when you feel sleepy, and how your energy rises and falls throughout the day. When you were younger, this rhythm was often aligned with later nights and later mornings. You could stay up past midnight and still sleep well into the morning. But as you age, this rhythm begins to shift forward. This means you may start feeling tired earlier in the evening, and as a result, you naturally wake up earlier in the morning, even if you wish you could sleep longer. For many older adults, this shift lands them in bed by 9 o'clock or 10 p.m., which means by 3 a.m., their body already feels it has had a full night's rest. This isn't insomnia, and it isn't something wrong with your sleep. It's simply your body working on a new schedule. The science behind it. Researchers have found that as we grow older, the brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, becomes more sensitive to light and less effective at maintaining a stable rhythm. Combine that with lifestyle changes like quieter evenings, earlier dinners, and reduced social activities, and your system naturally begins winding down sooner. Think of your sleep as a train schedule. In your younger years, your train might have departed at midnight and arrived at 8 a.m. But now, the train departs earlier, say at 9:30 p.m., and therefore arrives at 3:30 or 4 a.m. Your body still gave you a full night's sleep, but it happened earlier than you expected. A real-life example. Consider the story of Leonard, a 68-year-old retired teacher. Before retirement, Leonard often went to bed around 11 p.m. and woke up around 7 a.m. But after retiring, he found himself eating dinner by 5:30 p.m., relaxing with television, and heading to bed by 9:30 p.m. without even realizing it. Within weeks, his body had shifted into a new rhythm. Suddenly, he was waking up at 3 a.m. and couldn't figure out why. At first, Leonard worried something was wrong. But when he learned about advanced sleep phase, it clicked. His body wasn't malfunctioning, it was simply adapting to a quieter, earlier-paced life. By adjusting his evening activities like taking a short walk after dinner, calling a friend for a chat, or reading a book under a warm light, Leonard was able to stretch his bedtime closer to 10:30 or 11 o'clock. Slowly, his wake-up time shifted later too, and those 3 a.m. wake-ups became less frequent. The psychological layer. There's also an emotional and psychological aspect to this change. In younger years, late evenings were often filled with work, family responsibilities, or social outings that kept us awake longer. But in later life, evenings may become calmer and quieter. Without that external stimulation, your brain interprets the calm as a signal to shut down earlier. This shift can feel frustrating if your lifestyle or personal preferences don't match the new rhythm. You may want to stay awake later to watch a favorite show or sleep in to match your partner's schedule, but your body insists otherwise. Understanding that this isn't a personal failure but simply biology can help ease the frustration. Practical ways to work with your internal clock. The good news is, while you can't completely reset your internal clock, you can gently guide it in a direction that works better for you. Here are a few strategies. Use light to your advantage. Light is the most powerful signal for your circadian rhythm. If you find yourself getting sleepy too early, try spending more time in bright light during the evening, either with lamps indoors or a brief walk outside if it's still daylight. Conversely, keep your mornings calm and dim until you're truly ready to start the day. Stay socially engaged in the evenings. A phone call with a loved one, a game with friends, or even light conversation with family can stimulate the mind just enough to delay that early shutdown process. Adjust your dinner and activity schedule. Eating dinner later in the evening or adding light physical activity after your meal can signal to your body that the day isn't finished yet. Create a bedtime ritual that stretches time. Instead of heading straight to bed after dinner, develop a soothing ritual, perhaps reading in a cozy chair, journaling, or listening to calming music. These activities can help extend your evening without overwhelming your system. Reframing the experience. Here's the key perspective shift. Waking up at 3 a.m. might not mean you're sleeping wrong. It might mean you've already slept your body's full cycle. If you went to bed at 9 o'clock, 6 hours later puts you right at 3 a.m. That's simply math, not a malfunction. If this resonates with you, try to notice patterns rather than fight them. Ask yourself, what time am I usually falling asleep? Could I be finishing my rest earlier than I thought? By bringing awareness to your body's timing, you may be able to make peace with it, or gently adjust it to better fit your life. A gentle reminder. Remember, your body is wise. These changes aren't punishments, they are signs of adaptation. By honoring the new rhythms instead of battling them, you can find a sense of harmony even in the still hours of early morning. Welcome back. If you've stayed with us through this series so far, you already know that waking up at 3 a.m. isn't just a random event. It often has clear, understandable reasons behind it. Before we dive into today's focus, let me remind you, if you're finding value here, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends or family. It's a small action that makes a big difference in helping us continue creating thoughtful, supportive content. Now, let's talk about the third major reason many older adults find themselves wide awake in the middle of the night: physical discomfort and health-related interruptions. Reason 3. The body signals through discomfort. As we age, our bodies go through countless changes. Some are visible, like wrinkles or gray hair, while others are felt silently, often in the stillness of the night. Physical discomfort is one of the most common culprits behind those early morning wake-ups. Unlike melatonin decline or shifts in circadian rhythm, which are mostly invisible processes, physical discomfort is something you feel. Whether it's in your joints, your stomach, or even your bladder, the tricky part is that discomfort doesn't always appear when you first lie down. Instead, it builds slowly over hours of lying still. By 3 a.m., it reaches a level that's just strong enough to nudge you out of your sleep. Common physical triggers: arthritis and joint pain. Many older adults live with arthritis or general stiffness in their joints. During the day, movement keeps the body loose, but at night, lying in one position for hours can make the joints ache. By the early morning hours, that ache may be enough to wake you. Back pain or muscle cramps. A mattress that once felt comfortable may no longer support an aging spine. Even mild back discomfort can accumulate and cause early morning wakefulness. Similarly, leg cramps, common in older age, can jolt you awake at precisely the wrong time. Digestive issues. Conditions like acid reflux or indigestion often flare up at night, especially if dinner was eaten late or heavy. Lying flat can make reflux worse, and by 2 o'clock or 3 a.m., the discomfort might wake you. Bladder interruptions. This is one of the most common causes. The bladder becomes less elastic with age, meaning it can't hold as much urine for as long. Add to that certain medications that increase urination, and you get the perfect recipe for a 3 a.m. bathroom trip. Temperature sensitivity. The body's ability to regulate temperature declines with age. A slight chill or a bit of overheating in the room might not bother a younger person, but for an older adult, it's enough to bring sleep to an end. A real-life example: take the story of Eleanor, a 75-year-old woman who prided herself on being a strong sleeper most of her life. But recently, she noticed she was waking at 3:30 a.m. every night. At first, she blamed her mind, thinking it was stress or anxiety. But after keeping a simple sleep journal, she realized the pattern. Every night, she woke up when her arthritis pain began to flare in her hips. With her doctor's help, Eleanor added a gentle stretching routine before bed, used a heating pad in the evening, and switched to a mattress topper designed for joint relief. Within weeks, her 3:30 a.m. wake-ups decreased significantly. The problem wasn't her mind, it was her body quietly calling for attention. The subtle role of medications. Another overlooked factor is medication. Many older adults take prescriptions daily, for blood pressure, heart conditions, or pain management. While these medications are essential, they often come with side effects that disrupt sleep. Increased urination, changes in body temperature, or even restlessness can appear during the night, right around those sensitive early morning hours. For example, a man named George, age 72, noticed that he was waking at almost the same time each night. After reviewing his routine with his doctor, he discovered that the timing of one of his medications was increasing nighttime urination. By simply adjusting when he took the pill, his sleep improved dramatically. This highlights something important. Waking at 3 a.m. isn't always a mystery. Sometimes, it's your body giving you information that can be adjusted with professional guidance. Reframing discomfort as communication. It's easy to feel frustrated when your body wakes you up in the middle of the night. But what if, instead of seeing it as an interruption, you saw it as communication? Your body might be saying, "This joint needs more care, this mattress isn't working anymore. This medication schedule needs adjusting, this bladder needs less caffeine or liquid before bed." By listening instead of resisting, you gain valuable insight into what your body needs at this stage of life. Practical ways to ease physical wake-ups. Here are a few gentle adjustments that may help. Check your sleep environment. Ensure your mattress and pillows still support your needs. What worked 10 years ago may not work now. Mind your evening meals. Eat dinner earlier and avoid lying down immediately afterward. Limit heavy, spicy, or acidic foods that can trigger reflux. Stretch and move. A short stretching or light yoga routine before bed can ease muscle tension and prevent joint stiffness. Adjust fluid intake. Stay hydrated during the day, but limit large drinks in the evening. This helps reduce bladder interruptions. Talk to your doctor about medication timing. Sometimes a small change in schedule can reduce nighttime side effects. A gentle perspective shift. Instead of resenting these 3 a.m. wake-ups, consider them as subtle reminders that your body still cares enough to alert you. It's not shutting down, it's speaking to you. And when you learn to listen, you often find not only better sleep but also better health during the day. Welcome back. We've now arrived at the final part of this series on why older adults often wake up at 3 a.m. If you've followed along this far, I want to thank you for your patience and openness. And before we begin, let me kindly remind you, if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who may find comfort in these words. It helps us keep building a supportive community for people like you. So far, we've explored 3 major reasons behind these early morning wake-ups: the decline of melatonin, shifts in the body's internal clock, and physical discomfort. Now, let's turn inward and explore the final layer: the emotional and psychological restlessness that often emerges in the still hours of the night. Reason 4. The mind's quiet conversations at 3 a.m. When the world is silent, when no one is calling, texting, or needing your attention, the mind often chooses that moment to become the loudest. Thoughts you managed to push aside during the day suddenly surface at 3 a.m. Worries, regrets, unanswered questions, or even big reflections about life. For many older adults, this isn't simply anxiety. It's the natural result of having lived a long life, with memories, responsibilities, and unfinished business that your heart still carries. The early morning hours strip away distractions, leaving only you and your thoughts. The psychology of 3 a.m. wake-ups. Psychologists often say that nighttime wakefulness magnifies everything. A small concern that seems manageable at 3 p.m. can feel overwhelming at 3 a.m. Why? Because in the dark, without the grounding presence of daily activity, your thoughts echo louder. The mind has no competing noise, so it turns inward, replaying worries or unresolved emotions. For older adults, these thoughts may include concerns about health or medical results, worries about children, grandchildren, or loved ones, regret over past choices or relationships, fear of the future, particularly around aging, loss, or mortality. These themes are deeply human. They are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are alive, reflective, and connected to what matters. A real-life example. Let's look at the story of Harold, a 74-year-old widower. Every night, Harold went to bed peacefully enough. But around 3 a.m., he found himself waking with a knot in his chest. His mind raced with questions. Did I spend enough time with my wife before she passed? Did I prepare my children for life without me? Will I become a burden to my family? For Harold, the problem wasn't sleep itself. It was the weight of his heart. By day, he distracted himself with errands, TV, or visits from neighbors. But at night, when the silence set in, the truth of his feelings came forward. His body wasn't simply waking him. His soul was calling for acknowledgement. Through journaling and gentle conversations with a support group, Harold learned to see his 3 a.m. wake-ups not as an enemy, but as an invitation to listen to his deeper self. Over time, his nights became less heavy, and he even found peace in quietly reflecting before drifting back to sleep. The spiritual dimension. Across many cultures, the hours between 3 o'clock and 5 a.m. are considered a spiritually significant time. Some traditions call it the hour of the soul, or the time of awakening. It's believed that the veil between the conscious and subconscious mind is thinner, making it a natural time for reflection, prayer, or inner clarity. Whether or not you resonate with spiritual explanations, it can be comforting to view these wake-ups as more than a problem. They may be a gentle opening, an opportunity to connect with yourself, your values, and even with something greater than yourself. Practical ways to calm the restless mind. While it's normal to wake at 3 a.m., there are gentle practices that can help calm the thoughts and invite rest. Again, breathing exercises. Focus on slow, deep breaths. For example, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and pause for 4. This not only calms the nervous system but also redirects the mind away from spiraling thoughts. Keep a bedside journal. Sometimes the mind wakes you because it doesn't want to forget something. Write down your worry or thought, then tell yourself, it's safe here. I can return to it in the morning. Use gentle affirmations. Repeat phrases such as, I am safe. I am allowed to rest. Tomorrow will bring new strength. This helps shift the focus from fear to reassurance. Avoid harsh self-criticism. Many people get frustrated, why am I awake again? Which only makes the problem worse. Instead, practice compassion. Tell yourself it's okay. My body and mind are simply adjusting. Engage in quiet, soothing activity. If sleep doesn't return after 20 to 30 minutes, try reading something light, listening to soft music, or practicing meditation. These activities calm the mind without overstimulating it. A new way to see 3 a.m. What if waking up at 3 a.m. wasn't a disruption but a gift? What if it was your body and spirit offering you a quiet moment, free from the demands of the day, to reflect on what truly matters? Instead of resisting it, you could ask, what is my heart trying to tell me right now? Is there a worry I can release? Is there gratitude I can express? By shifting your perspective, you transform frustration into a gentle moment of connection. Closing thoughts. We've now explored 4 powerful reasons why older adults often wake up at 3 a.m. The decline of melatonin with age. The natural shift in the internal clock. Physical discomfort and health-related factors. Emotional and psychological restlessness. Each reason reminds us of something important. Your body and mind are not betraying you. They are adapting, communicating, and inviting you to live with awareness. So the next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., try to release the frustration. Instead, see it as a gentle reminder. You are alive, your body is wise, and your mind is still capable of reflection and growth. And remember, you are not alone. Millions of others share this experience. Together, by understanding and accepting it, we can replace frustration with peace.